Hi, my name is Angela and I love cardboard. So let's get started. So first we want to know what are the tools and materials that we're going to need for our cardboard furniture projects. You're going to be very surprised to find out how little tools and how inexpensive are all the materials you're going to use in the construction of the furniture, the amazing furniture you're going to be designing. Obviously, you will need cardboard. For each project, you're going to know exactly the cardboard you need for the project in terms of size. There is a separate video explaining exactly the types of cardboards we work with and what we use in addition. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. Let's look at the tools. So what do we see? Okay, so from left to right. So we see a cutting knife, a plain kitchen knife, scissors, a pencil, a marker, a couple of rulers, glue gun, hot glue gun, a jigsaw. Then we have a few types of glue that we use, and there is another video talking about the glues. We use gum craft tape, we use masking tape for assistance, we use white glue, and we use wallpaper paste, and obviously the hot glue for the hot glue gun. You also need some sanding paper, and a meter will be of assistance. I think this is all you'll ever need. This will do the job that the heavy machinery you're used to see in woodworking workshops is doing. Everything is going to be done manually, and this is all you will ever need to build everything. Have a look. This is your entire cardboard carpentry workshop. Actually, nothing is a must. You can even create your cardboard project with almost no equipment at all. If I would have to pinpoint two things that you need to create cardboard project, it would be something to cut with and something to glue with. That is a simple kitchen knife and any kind of glue that you have. If you don't have a jigsaw, you can actually cut anything in our cardboard projects with a kitchen knife. This is for real. You can really do anything with those two. Now, what about the tools that I'm using when I'm making my projects, and the tools that you're going to be seeing me using on the projects, on the videos? First of all is a cutting knife. The cutting knife I recommend is a wide knife. It's 3/4 of an inch. It's almost 2 centimeters wide knife, and it has this knob, this turning knob that fastens the blade for security purposes. I do recommend to get a good cutting knife, branded cutting knife. The knife that I prefer personally is the Olfa. It's an international brand. You can find it anywhere. There are some other brands that are as good, like Stanley, Tajima, or Max. If you find any of them, it's a good choice. Other than that, just try it in your palm. Hold it and see that you have a comfortable grip. For this cutting knife, we will obviously need the blades. The quality of the blades is even more important than the quality of the knife itself. Here, even more so, I recommend to get a good quality blade. It will affect the quality of your work and the ease of your work. So again, the same brands that I mentioned before are good for the blade. The next piece of equipment is a ruler, or actually a couple of rulers like you saw in the picture. The first one and the most important one is the angle ruler. I recommend to take one that is not very short nor very long, 18 to even 16 to 20 inches or 40 to 50 centimeters, and don't take a very long one. If you choose so, a second one that is very short will be helpful. The second is a metal ruler that we will use for drawing and cutting. Personally, I prefer the second one from the bottom, the one that is 60 centimeters, 24-inch long. You can take the bit shorter one. I don't like them very long nor very short. It's not very comfortable to work with. So I don't know if you noticed, but there are some rulers with features. Like this one is the aluminum safety ruler. It will safeguard your fingers from injuring yourself when cutting with the cutting knife. It is definitely something that I do recommend, only it's quite more expensive. So if you get one, it is a good thing. And then there is the one that comes with a strip at the back against sliding. It prevents the ruler from sliding, which is also a good idea, although this is something you can achieve on your own. To replace the aluminum safety ruler to get the same benefit, you can just use a plain aluminum profile, a plain L-shaped profile, and you can use it for safeguarding your fingers while cutting.
The next thing is the hot glue gun. The thing is, you don't have to work with hot glue gun. I do, and you will see them in the videos. I do it because it's faster and easier, mainly faster. If you don't like hot glue gun, that's okay. You can glue it with any type of glue you want, because cardboard is the material that will glue with any type of glue, I guess, on the planet. Anything that glues anything else will glue cardboard. So you just need to know how to work with it in order to, you know, stabilize it, but then you can work with whatever you want. Now, if you do choose to work with hot glue gun, you need to know a few things. First of all, you need to have a good piece of equipment. If you're going to buy one, do not get a not good enough one, because it will not last. It will probably break before you finish your first furniture. So this is something you have to consult with your local vendors. And everywhere there are different types of equipment, and you will have to look for a good one. Now, what I can suggest is look for something that looks more serious and has a larger handle. The ones like the black one here with the orange handle, this type of triangular handle, are usually of less good quality. They tend to break easily and they don't last long. From my experience, the ones that have a handle like this one, the larger one, are of better quality. Now notice that the tiny little cute ones with the colors, the little guns with the little tiny, very thin sticks, the ones that are like a pinky, they're not suitable. Most of them are not even hot glue guns. They are low temperature glue guns, and they will not do the work. If you have them, and you probably do if you're a DIYer or a crafter, they are not suitable. This is not what we need. So this is one thing you do not want. And the last thing is that you want to pay attention that it is strong enough, that it is of at least 60 watts and up. Most of the 40 watts glue guns are not strong enough, and it will be very annoying to work because they give you very little quantity of glue, and it will stop in the middle of the action. Now, for the sticks that go into the hot glue guns, they all look alike, but they're not the same. They are of different qualities, although they look alike. There's no difference between the ones that are more transparent and the ones that are more milky looking. But in the same group of the same look, you can find different qualities. When I say not the same quality, some of them will do the job and some of them will not do the job at all. You put them, and then after a while when they dry, you just pull them off and they don't stick anything together. So there is one test I can recommend, unless you are familiar with the specific brand you are buying. First of all, I personally prefer to buy them in hardware shops, in the same place I buy the hot glue guns themselves, rather than in a hobby shop. And then I test them. If I'm not familiar with the brand that I'm buying, and when I find a brand that is good for me, I just keep on buying the same one. I just take 2 pieces of cardboard, any cardboard, even, you know, from your cereal box, and put one in your hot glue gun, put some hot glue on one of the pieces of the cardboard, put the other one on top of it, let it dry, and after 10 minutes pull them apart. If it tears up the cardboard when pulling them apart, it's a good quality one. If most of it will stay on one side and it will come off easily, it's not a good one, and do not use it. Jigsaw. Any jigsaw will do. There's no special requirements for jigsaw. Personally, I found out that we don't need a very strong one. It's more difficult to cut through cardboard with a very, very strong one. If you have a jigsaw, you can use whatever you have. If your neighbor has one or a friend of yours has one, you can borrow them. Nothing will happen to them. We only have about 10 or 20 minutes of sewing with the jigsaw per project. So anything will do. What you do want to pay attention to is the blades that go with the jigsaw.
You see the difference between the size of the teeth, the size and shape of the teeth of the blade. The bottom one, the one that I marked with an X, is the less good one, the less suitable one for us. You can use it, only it's not as good. This is the one that is usually referred to as the blades for wood. It's the most popular one. It's the ones that comes automatically with the Jigsaw whenever you buy one. The top one with the smaller teeth would be the one that are referred to as blades for metal or aluminum. This is the type of blade that we prefer to use when cutting cardboard. Sanding paper. If you only get one type, get the roughest type you can find. Not always you will find the same ones everywhere, but try to get a very rough sanding paper. If you get more than one type, then get one rough and one a bit finer for finishing. Masking tape does not make a part of the project itself. I only use it for assistance. I personally prefer the 1/2 inch wide. You can choose whatever you want. Gum paper is part of the finishing, and then we will need white glue. I think you better buy a good quality one, like wood glue, rather than hobby glue. And then we will need the last glue that we will use is wallpaper paste. The one that comes in powder is the one that I'm familiar with. You can control the thickness of the liquid that you get. It's also called sometimes wallpaper glue. We will be using brown paper sheets, large brown paper sheets. Best to use craft paper, not to use the ones with the bright side, the one with the coating. These are not good for our purposes. And then in some of the projects we also need gray cardboard. I would recommend for the both gray and brown, get the largest sheets that are available for you. Try to get no smaller than A1. If you have larger than A1, it is even better.
And a meter, any meter.
And that's it. This is all you will ever need. All the equipment and most of the materials you will need to create and design any piece of furniture you will ever want. This is it, and that's the magic.